Teacher, do you remember Zootopia Part 1? Only cute furry animals appeared there, but in Part 2, gross reptiles suddenly appeared. Snakes, lizards, frogs, kids like that crawled up small from under the sewers. They have cold blood, so even if you hug them, they're cold as ice. Ugh, goosebumps. Judy and Nick are police officers, so they went to investigate, but the atmosphere was too scary. The fog was thick, so they couldn't see well ahead. But from somewhere a shwick sound was heard. Judy's ears were twitching jong-goot. But she was shaking so much I thought they would spin like a propeller. Reptiles stare without even blinking. Every time those yellow eyes flash in the dark, I feel like my heart drops. Nick pretends not to be scared because he is a fox, but his tail probably went sick between his legs. Now Zootopia is not a warm and cozy city. It has become a damp and slippery hell. The scariest among the reptiles was a snake named Gary. Mr. Gary has no arms and no legs. Do you know how he moves? He twists his whole body like a noodle strand and moves seureureuk. He suddenly appeared in front of Judy, and I thought he was a ghost because there was no sound. His tongue is split into and flicks nalium, and they say that's how he smells things. He must have smelled delicious bunny scent from Judy. It looked like he was licking his lips. Nick froze next to her like playing freeze tag. They say snakes can dislocate their jaws and swallow things bigger than their heads in one gulp. Gulkik. If Mr. Gary swallows Judy, Judy will melt inside the snake's stomach. His eyes look lifeless like glass marbles, so you can't tell what he is thinking at all. Having to live with animals like that. Zootopia is a really dangerous place. I need to call Mom and tell her to watch out for snakes. Judy and Nick went to a place called Marsh Market to find clues. The ground there was all mud, so every time they walked, their feet sank. Puk. It smelled like a swamp, probably like a mix of rotten eggs and mold. Yuck. The animals living there were all selling damp and slippery things. It was full of strange things like worm jelly or snake skin. I don't know. Judy got mud on her fur, so she turned into a dirty rag. Nick must have been wearing expensive shoes because he was frowning deeply. It was dark as if the sun didn't shine here, and humid, so it was suffocating. I saw something moving kumul in the water. It might be a crocodile. If you step wrong, I think you'll get sucked into that deep swamp and never come out forever. For Zootopia to have such a dirty place, the mayor must not even clean. To secretly chase the snake to put on disguises. But the disguises were so terrible that even a passing ant would recognize them. Judy wore a trench coat bigger than her body and pasted a fake mustache. She looks just like a kid who stole her dad's clothes. Hi. Nick, oh my god, wore a flower pattern dress and a curly wig. He transformed into a fox lady, but his leg hair was all showing, so it was so funny. But the two were super serious. They whispered, "We are secret agents," but to me, they just look like circus clowns. Other animals glanced hilkum, but Nick shamelessly blew a hand kiss. If they get caught by Gary like that, they'll become a snack right away. They must be fearless. Maybe they watched too many spy movies. Reality is not a joke though. I'm worried if they can run away while wearing those ridiculous clothes. Chasing Gary, they entered a construction site, and it was a world of beavers. Beaver teeth looked like chainsaws, and they were gnawing on wood wildly. The vike sound was so loud my ears felt stuffed. Trees were falling kung everywhere, and Judy and Nick were frantic dodging them. The beavers were crazy about work, so they didn't even know who came. Their eyes were spinning round and round. Sawdust flew like snow and it went into Judy's nose, so she sneezed. Achoo! Ugh! Because of that sound, all the beavers looked at them. The wooden sticks the beavers were holding looked just like weapons. If bitten by those teeth, fingers would snap off like sausages. The construction site was dusty, so Nick's pretty dress became a rag. If they don't run away fast from here, Judy might get gnawed on, mistaken for a tree. Avoiding the beavers, they jumped into the sewer. The smell is even worse here. It smelled like boiled rotten cheese. The sewer tunnels were twisted like a maze, so I don't know where the path is at all. Green moss hung on the walls like snot. Judy and Nick ran chamorro, and snakes chased from behind. Seureureuk, seureureuk. Shadows reflected on the walls and the snakes looked huge like dragons. In the corners, rats with red eyes were hiding and giggling kick kick. The rats might be bad guys telling the snakes the way. Judy was panting heck out of breath, and Nick's wig fell off, so he looked like a bald eagle. If they hit a dead end, it's over. The water rose and came up to their knees. I'm worried they'll get skin disease if they fall into this dirty water. Eventually they got caught in the snake den. Teacher, tied up with sticky vines. They can't move a muscle. On the floor, small snakes were spread like a carpet and squirming. Ugh, gross. Mr. Gary pushed his face close and smiled with a face saying welcome. Snacks. When snakes smile, their mouths rip to their ears like the Joker. Judy was so scared her ears covered her face. Nick shouted, untie this. But the snakes pretended not to hear. Snakes licked Judy's face with their tongues. It looked like they were tasting ice cream. Poisonous teeth flashed. If bitten by those teeth, the body might swell like a balloon and pop pyong. Someone please help. Judy and Nick are about to become snake food. It's too cold and damp here. I think I'll catch a cold. Judy is a smart bunny as expected. I thought she was just crying but she kicked BBN, a secret button hidden in her belt. Then pink foam exploded like a bomb from the belt. It looked just like a strawberry shake exploded. The snakes rolled around saying oh my eyes. Because the foam stung their eyes, the snakes got tangled together and twisted like pretzels. Ha ha ha. Serves them right. The floor was slippery so Mr. Gary also fell quatong. He has no arms so he couldn't brace himself and fell on his face. Judy and Nick turned white, as if they took a bubble bath, and escaped in that gap. It smelled like strawberries too so the snakes sneezed. Judy's invention saved her friends, but that foam doesn't wash off well, so she might have to live as a pink bunny for a few days. They escaped outside, but Gary chased them persistently. Judy prepared to kick, but Gary held out something with his tail. It was the lost case file. Oh my god, teacher. Gary wasn't a bad snake. He was just misunderstood because he doesn't talk much, and has scary eyes. Snakes originally don't have expressions so he must have felt unfair. Gary said, I tried to help, in a raspy voice. Judy and Nick felt so sorry their faces turned into carrots. Reptiles lived hiding in sewers, because other animals were scared of them and hated them. Grown-ups are dummies who judge only by appearance. Looking at Mr. Gary's eyes again, they looked sad. Nick gave a handkerchief as an apology, but Gary has no hands, so he put it on his head. Now the three became friends. Now Mr. Gary became a police officer too. A snake police. Thieves will pee their pants in fear. The three took a photo together, but Gary was so long he didn't fit in the screen. Gary wrapped around Judy and Nick to hug them, but as expected, he was cold and slippery. Ugh, feels weird. Looks like a happy ending, right? But look closely at the corner behind the photo. Another pair of yellow eyes is watching the three. I guess Gary wasn't the only reptile. The real bad guy might still be hiding deep in the sewer. Zootopia's piece is still far away. I should close the windows tight tonight and sleep. A snake might come in seureureuk, hi hee hee.